Hello, everybody. Welcome to Terminated Online. My name is AOK. Today, we're going to be talking about the conspiracy theories surrounding one of the biggest events of the week, the Trump shooting. I say biggest events of the week, but we all know it's not going to be the biggest event very long. So, what we're going to be talking about specifically is the fact that nobody is believing that. It actually happened. Everybody is claiming that it was actually just Trump's scheme to get a ballroom. So let's just get right into it. Rapid spread of staged claims. A shooting incident at the White House Correspondents' Dinner was quickly contained by security, with the suspect arrested before reaching the main event area. Despite real-time reporting from journalists on the scene, baseless claims that the attack was staged spread within minutes across social media, echoing patterns seen after previous political violence. And obviously, well, I personally don't believe it was staged, but as I've heard a lot of people say, Trump and his base have encouraged this kind of um, hysteria of the idea that truth doesn't really matter. So I think conspiracy theories have been allowed to flourish in this kind of environment, and I think that's just exactly what we're seeing. So not necessarily the fact that everything is above board. Like, a lot of things there could be suspicious, but the fact that it didn't really happen and it was all acting seems a bit far-fetched. But today we're going to be having a little fun and seeing exactly what people are saying and what the exact conspiracy theories actually are.
Let's bring in Vedika Bahel, who's over by the big board for Truth or Fake. Vedika, good evening to you. Thanks for being with us. Staying with the shooting in Washington. The social media has been ablaze with conspiracy theories that the incident was staged. Talk us through them.
That's right, Mark. Social media has been flooded with conspiracy theories about the shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Multiple theories have been shared online without solid evidence from both left-wing and right-wing accounts. And the most prominent of those theories is that the attack was staged. In fact, according to social media analytics tool Tweetbinder, by midday on Sunday, there was over 300,000 posts on X alone using the term staged. Now, many accounts shared that they thought Trump had fabricated this attack to divert from his poor approval ratings or distract from the war in Iran. Others theorized that Trump was trying to ramp up support for his controversial plans to build a new White House ballroom. And indeed, Trump himself referenced that ballroom in the press conference following the incident.
Again, that's why a lot of people are following the conspiracy, because he's talking about it immediately after the event, right? And I think they're going to show the
where he talks about
tweets.
Why it's more important than ever and how significant the construction of this ballroom is. And at the same time, multiple of his MAGA allies at the same time also repeated this claim online, taking social media to also repeat how important that ballroom is, and we really, really need it. And it is this quick coordination, in fact, that led many social media users to ask the question, is this a staged event? Now, when Donald Trump was asked by CBS News' 60 Minutes about these theories of a staging, he blasted them as sick. So let's take a listen now directly to the US president.
And October 7th didn't happen, and World War II didn't happen, and the Holocaust didn't happen, and many things didn't happen. Yeah, no, I hear it. I don't know. I think they're more sick than they are con people, but there's a lot of con in it too. I haven't heard that last night didn't happen. Usually it takes a little bit longer. Yeah. Usually they wait about 2 or 3 months to start saying that.
So there you have it, Donald.
Well, I mean, a lot of people are fed up of being made to care about something. Like, a political assassination is something. That's another analysis that I've heard. That a political assassination is usually something serious. But people are so checked out of politics, they're being asked, okay, we can't really see the tweets. I really want to show the tweets. But all of them are basically saying, oh, this is why we need a ballroom, this is why we need a ballroom, this is why we need a ballroom. Like, all in sync, coordinated together. And obviously that doesn't mean it's staged, it just means that their messaging is coordinated. But surely that's also a bad sign, right? When so-called reporters aren't actually reporting on anything. They're just, regurgitating what they've been told to regurgitate. That's also a bad sign, right? But before we go on, I just want to remind you guys to like and subscribe. I only need a couple thousand subscribers to do this full time. I'm only at about 100, so we're slowly getting there, and I hope I can get a more consistent schedule now. And just subscribe to the video. Also, make sure to check out my video on um, the fake AI layoffs, people claiming that AI is doing layoffs. I'll link the video in the description and also put it in the title card so you can go there immediately after this video. But please like and subscribe if you've gotten this far. It really does help out and it only takes you a second. Misinformation driven by polarization and distrust. Experts say theories were fueled by deep political distrust, online echo chambers, and attempts to link the incident to broader political agendas, including claims it was a distraction or a false flag. Authorities and fact checkers have dismissed these narratives as unsupported, highlighting how major breaking events trigger instant misinformation cycles. Now, that doesn't really tell us anything new. Like I said, I don't believe it was staged. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of evidence to show that, there are a lot of people there. Why would the left wing media go along with it? People that have been protesting his ballroom all this while, why would they now all of a sudden go along with it?
Leanne, you were there. Tell me what happened.
Yeah, I was right across the table from Dylan. Katie, at first, of course, it was confusion. You hear loud thumps, didn't know what they were. I thought that was normal. And then you just see a sea of people rushing to get under their tables. You see Secret Service running down the aisles, climbing on the dais, rushing away the president and the vice president. And so it was chaos at the beginning with a lot of confusion. And in getting back to your point, in moments like that, a lot of misinformation and a lot of questions of what happened start to develop, especially online by people who weren't in the room. So, it was definitely a moment that was not necessarily expected for that night specifically, but perhaps should have been as these threats of political violence just continue, Katie.
There's also a certain, there's twofold here. There's a question I want to ask Dylan about an experience he had right afterwards. But Sam, I first want to talk to you about maybe the desire for people to want to believe that this is staged, to want to believe that these things aren't really happening, or there's some ulterior motive at hand. Everything's a cover-up for the Epstein files. This is just another version of a cover-up. This one to distract from the Iran war, or the economy, or sagging poll numbers. Is part of this fueled by just what people want?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, right? You don't want to confront uncomfortable truths in certain cases. It's a lot easier to just sort of duck the idea that I don't know, your approximate political ideology or some online source produced something. I'm not saying this specifically. And therefore you just say, well, it's got to be actually the opposite. It's got to be all conspiracy. We see it in this case. You see it most recently. Like, for instance, a good example of this is the J6 pipe bombing situation, where forever it was the right wing was saying, well, this must have been a false flag plant designed to get law enforcement into the crowd to frame these J6ers. And it turns out the guy was a Trump voter who wanted to create chaos that day. And so, it is a way to avert having to take some blame in both directions. And then I would just add to your point, the internet's not helping here, right? I don't know if you were just scrolling on Twitter in the aftermath of this on Saturday night, but it was a cesspool. It really was. Like, the For You stuff was just basically all conspiracies and political attacks and very little actual credible information. And our algorithm.
Well, another thing is the media have themselves to blame, I would say, because they haven't garnered any sympathy, and obviously they would feel this way, right? They would be like, oh my God, why does nobody believe us? Our lives are in danger. Why does nobody believe us? But at the same time, they haven't endeared themselves to the public. They don't report on what people think is important. People don't feel heard by the media. So when the media gets attacked, people are less likely to be sympathetic. Like if it was like I don't know, let's say professional athletes, that's probably a bad example, but let's say it was like an athletes event and then we had football players talking about how oh, they're so scared for their lives, people would be more sympathetic because they care about those people more. But the media just doesn't feel like it's for the people. It feels like it's for their bosses and whoever is paying for their bosses or whoever is driving ratings or whatever it is. So I think that's another angle of it as well, right? That's why, you know, man, I was seeing CNN being so civil. I don't know if it was CNN or MSNBC being so civil to a Trump administration employee. They're like, oh my God, we're happy you're alive. Which obviously I don't want them to be like, haha, they almost got you. But like that kind of like coming together because it finally affects them. Like that's why they can finally like use that as an angle to feel like they're use that as an angle to make this like sense of togetherness. But like nobody trusts the media. Nobody feels like they're on the same team with the media, even if they might align with their political beliefs, they just don't are not as sympathetic to media figures. And I think that's an aspect that not many people are talking about. But I'll leave it here. Don't forget to subscribe. Go check out my AI layoffs video and go watch some of my other videos, but not before you click the subscribe button and you like the video if you got to the end. It's the least you can do, and it only takes a second for you, but it means the world to me. Thank you very much.